Welcome back to another interesting tutorial about Illustrator tips and tricks. And in today's video, I will show you how to draw different types of arrow in Adobe Illustrator without Illustrator. Let me show you how. The very first thing we want to do is to go ahead and we'll make sure we navigate to our toolbar right here. So what we want to do here is to go ahead and we'll make sure we select our pen tool. Then having selected our pen tool, next thing we want to do is to come to the workspace right here. But before that, we need to fill in our pen tool property. So we have to make sure we navigate the property from the sidebar right here. So go ahead and make sure you select your stroke color. So I'm going to select black and no fill. So you can adjust the size of the stroke right here. So go ahead and format everything. Next thing we want to do is to come down to the artwork right here. So for instance, I'm going to draw a straight line. I'll press Shift key on my keyboard and click once, then press Ctrl key down to cut. Now I have this particular shape right here. How do we convert this into an arrow? So we have to make sure we go to our selection tool right here, then we come back to the part right here. So once you click on the part, then you can start to edit the part as the case may be and use different kind of options to convert it into a kind of a nice arrow. Okay. So having dropped the straight line, next thing we want to do is to come to the property right here. We want to make sure we click on the stroke right here, and this is going to pop up right here. Then what we want to do here is that we can change the profile of the stroke right here. We have different types of stroke right here. We can decide to choose this type of stroke, and one more thing here is that we can also flip both vertical and horizontal. Then we can also increase the thickness of the line right here, so it become more bold. So we can increase it about 18, and then we can come back to stroke right here. Then we can give a head arrow. For that, click on here. You can use different types of arrow right here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use this arrow right here. Then you are done. Then you can come back here and adjust the width just like so. So if you are satisfied with that, then you are good to go. You can come back to the width right here, and you have so many different options. You can convert it back to uniform right here, and you have this. Okay, now let's take a look at another example. So we go back to our pen tool right here. Let's say for instance I try to draw this type of arrow right here. I try to make this curve right here, and I try to make this curve right here. I try to make this curve right here, and I press Ctrl key down to cut. Now we have this shape right here. So let's quickly format it to arrow. So select on this shape, and then we can come to the shape width. We can reduce the width as much as possible. I'm going to try 5 right here. Then we can click on stroke right here. Then here we can give a kind of arrow, different arrow. So like for instance, I'm going to use this arrow for this. Then that is for forward arrow. Then we can also format the line. We can decide to make it a dash line, just like so. We have it this way. So we can decide to increase the width as the case may be. So let's take a look at it, something like this. And if you are not satisfied with the width, you can click on the shape again. Then we come back to the width here again, and we can make it something like 5, or better still, we can make it 6, just like so. So if you are satisfied with that, then you are good to go. Let's take a look at another example of how you can create a different kind of arrow. So this time around, I'm going to make use of this particular right here. So I'm going to draw something like this. I'll press Ctrl key down to cut. So this time around, this particular shape here, I'm going to format it to become an arrow. So I'm going to change from stroke right here. I'm going to dash it. Then I'm going to give a kind of another head arrow right here. So like for instance, I can decide to give something like this, and then I can come here and adjust the width. Everything depends on what exactly you really want to achieve. So let's go back to pen tool this time around. So I'm going to make another curve from here. Then like this, I'm going to make another curve right here. Here, Then I'm going to press Ctrl key down and cut. Then this time around, I'm going to select my curvature curve right here to work on the shape right here, just to adjust. Then make a Control key to cut. So I'm satisfied with the shape right here. Next thing we want to do is to go ahead and format it. So I'm going to click on this one right here. Then I can click on stroke right here. I can go ahead and add a forward head arrow right here. So this head arrow can be another thing, like something like this. I'm not satisfied with that. So I'll click on my forward head arrow again. I'm going to use something like this. Then I can go on and increase the width right here. I'm going to make it something like this. So here we can work on the opacity. We can turn down the opacity as the case may be, or better still, we can increase the opacity. Everything depends on what exactly we really want to achieve with our arrow in Illustrator. We can go on and create different type of arrow in Illustrator using this simple trick and trick. So using this simple trick right here, it's that simple. For more tutorial tips and tricks on how best to use your Illustrator software, consider to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.